Hi everyone. Today I need to make a card for a friend of ours who is a man, and he actually loves traveling in his motorhome, and they do go to France quite a lot. So I managed to get this tiny little die set off of Temu. You've got the motorhome, 2 deck chairs and a table, and I'm going to see how well that one cuts. I've got a piece of white cardstock. This measures 12 inches by 5 3/4 inches, and I'll show you how I scored that in a minute. I'm going to be using the French Chic stamp set. Now I know this is for a man, but it's not going to matter. We've got the Eiffel Tower there and some of the buildings. Mercy. What else have we got that we can use? Don't want to use Jatane. That means I love you. That would be very inappropriate. We've got the Paris stamp. And we might also use the happy birthday wishes. I am going to chop up this table and chairs here. I want the umbrella on the top, so I'm going to chop that one up. But yeah, so we're going to just have a play and see what we can come up with. The paper pad that I've chosen is the Hummingbird, and they're beautiful colours. And I got this one from the Works. Now, I've used quite a bit of this pad, and the pieces that I've taken out are these 2 pieces at the moment. So you get some really, really pretty, vibrant colours within this pack. As you can see, I've been chopping bits out of it all over the place. But yeah, this is really beautiful, and that's a beautiful paper as well. And always remember, with your paper pads that you buy from either the range or the Works or a Hobby Maker, Hobby Craft, wherever, they're usually double-sided. So if there's one particular image that you don't like, use the other side. So that's the paper pad. I'm going to pop all that over there, pop that to one side. Now if I take in my scoring board and show you the scoring lines for this. So as I said, this measures, on my board, this measures 12 inches. So I scored this down at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. So that's the scoring done. Now this first fold, we need to be a mountain fold. So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to do a mountain fold, and then I'm going to do a valley fold, another mountain fold, and then with this last one, a valley fold. There we go. So we've got a valley fold. So when this stands up, it's a really nice, fun shaped card. So just give all those a really, really nice burnish, so that the cardstock remembers. And this is what we've ended up with. Okay, so we can open this back out now. We've done our scoring. This first one and this third one, I want to be green, because I want that to look like grass. So if I measure that, that is 5 3/4 by 1 inch. So I need to cut that down to 5 1/2 by 3/4, and I need that twice. I pop this on like so. That's 10 1/4, 3/4. It's going to take me that little piece off of the end, and what did I say I needed that to be? That's 5 3/4, so I need these to be 5 1/2. So I need 2 of those. So that's those 2, and they're going to be for the grass. And then this back panel, which measures 5 3/4 by 4, needs to be 5 1/2 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to see if I can get mainly this area. So 5 1/2. It's not going to be too bad. By 3 3/4. Let me have a look and see, and we can see what that looks like. So that doesn't look too bad actually for sky. Just going to pop that to one side. I don't think we're going to need that again. So that's our mat layer for the back. There's one piece of grass at the bottom, and there's another piece of grass there. Now, anybody that knows me, as I always say, knows that I don't like white core. So I am going to take in a green alcohol marker. I think any one will do really. And with the tip, I'm just going to run my pen along the edges. And that just finishes those off. And then this one actually doesn't look too bad because it's quite a much lighter cardstock. So I think I'm going to leave that one. A big black cloud has just come over, so I think we're going to get some rain. This one is going to sit just there, and this one is going to sit just there. So if I go on and glue those down, let's see if that'll work now. There we go. So just pop a nice bit of glue on the back of those. Get that one nicely lined up. Nice border all the way around. That's that one. And then we'll do the same with this one. Try and make sure that we keep it lined up. That's those 2 done, and then we can actually do this one as well. Actually, I think it might look better that way. So just get that one down, get that one nicely lined up. And then what we've ended up with is a card that looks like we've got grass in the front and then the sky behind. So that's that done. So I've popped that to one side. Now with the motorhomes, I think I'm going to cut this in white, and I might end up cutting this twice because motorhomes are ordinarily white, but we could do the chairs and maybe the table in a different colour. So if I pop that on. So see, I don't know how well this is going to cut, so we'll give it a go. I'm going to put an extra bit of paper shim on the top. and just quickly run this through, and we'll see how well this one cuts. Oh, that looks like that's cut really well. Just poke out all these tiny bits. Oh, there's the motorhome. And there's one chair. I'm actually quite impressed. These have cut out really, really nicely. There's another chair. And there's the table. I mean, obviously we need to just poke these tiny bits out. There's that one. And then with the motorhome, it's even embossed the doorway. It looks really, really nice. So poke out those little pips. Now there's two things we could do with this motorhome. We could either cut this again, then cut the wheels out in the black and add those, or we can colour them in. And I think what I'm going to do is cut it again in black, because then I can have the chairs black rather than white, so that there's not too much white. So I've got a tiny bit of black cardstock here. Take back in my plates. I'm going to leave that piece of cardstock as an extra shim and run that through again. And then that one's cut out perfectly as well by the looks of it. So again, if we just pop this one out, I see there's the black motorhome. And there's one chair. I actually think the chairs will look lovely in black. There's the other chair. And then we've got the table. We can decide whether we're going to have a black or a white table. Now this is a thinner cardstock. It didn't emboss this piece as well as the white piece. But that's fine, I only want it for the wheel. So if I take my scissors and try and follow this around as best I can, and just chop those, it's going to be funny shape, but never mind. Just chop those wheels off, and then we can stick those on. Let's just do this one. I think perfect circles have got to be the most difficult thing to cut freehand. It's just a fun card, just to say happy birthday. So I'm going to glue those on. I'm going to take that little point off. I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of glue just around there. Not too bad. or will trim. I'll put the glue on the back of this one. And this is second wheel trim, or tires, whatever you want to call them. Oh, there we go. So there's our motorhome. So with our card, what I thought I would like to do is have the motorhome roughly there. So if I pop some glue just along the bottom, and get that roughly where I think I want that to go. Just double check I've got no glue on the back. That's our motorhome going to pop up. And with our chairs, we could either have them on the same, or we could bring these across to the front. I think I might bring these across to the front actually. And shall we have a black table and chairs? Okay. I'm just going to pop a tiny bit on the bottom. And I have this chair just there. Now the table, I'm going to have that just there. A tiny bit of glue on there. Okay, how did I say I was having this? Just like so. So our table's poking over a tiny bit. And then this chair, I thought we'd have away from the table. A tiny bit of glue on the bottom of those. And that's going to be in line just there. How fun is that? Now, I want an umbrella for this table. So I've taken the stamp from the French chic stamps and I'm going to stamp it. I just want the umbrella. So if I pick up that stamp, I've taken another piece of the same white cardstock, and with the VersaFine Onyx Black, I'm just going to stamp that one up. And I'm going to just stamp this one anywhere. As I say, all I want is the umbrella, so I'm not worried about the rest of it. There we go. So if I chop this down there. And then we're going to fussy cut around this one. I am going to leave a tiny border. End there. So now we've got a pretty umbrella, which if I stick on the back of the table, looks like the table's got an umbrella on it. But I think what I might do is colour that in. Might do it in red actually. And I'm not doing anything major. I'm just going to go all the way over in the red. There we go. So we've got a red umbrella. As I say, I want to stick that to the back of there. I'm going to pop some glue on the bottom. Just hold that for a couple of seconds, let that grab. See how easy it is to make your own scenes. So that's how the card stands. So we've got our table and our chairs and our umbrella. It's a bit skew-iff, but never mind. Our motorhome. Now I did consider putting the I suppose we could go at the top with that. Just makes it look a little bit more interesting. I think if we go at the bottom, we'll hide it. And then just put happy birthday. So if I pop this one down, pick that one up. Now I'm going to stamp this onto another piece of white cardstock. I've still got this piece. And let's see what we can do with this. So just ink up that stamp. Let's just go just there. Most probably miss quite a few more bits. It doesn't like it just there. Never mind. Okay. What I'm going to do with this one is I am going to fussy cut all around this one because I don't want it to be a, so if I just take that out a minute, I don't want it to be a rigid straight line. So I'm just going to go all around that one. Come up this one. Now I think if we pop this across the top, or should we have it in the middle? See, if we go at the bottom, it's hidden, which is not what I wanted. We could have it across the middle. Let's try that. So pop that. Same amount of border both sides, about there. Actually quite like the fact that they're sticking out, that's giving that a bit more texture. So that's that done. Just make sure that's straight. So we could actually pick that one up. And mask off the wishes. So happy birthday wishes. We don't want the wishes, so we're gonna just mask that off there. Let's get another piece of this cardstock and see what that looks like. So again with the VersaFine Onyx Black. Always remember to take off your tape. So now we've just got happy birthday. Happy birthday. Again, I'm gonna fussy cut this one. Not going too mad with this one. I'm just gonna follow the shape of the stamp. Try not to leave any sharp edges. And this one I thought we would have at the top. I'm gluing this one down. You'll notice I'm not using any double-sided foam tape for this card. So that's going to go there. Give that one a nice press down. Just all the time, just checking what you've done. I think that's really quite effective. Now you could go one more and pop the green on the backs as well if you want to, but I really don't see the point. We could actually put some green, I think would look better if we pop some green underneath the buildings. So what did we say that was? 5.5. That's 5.5 in width. And then that's gonna be 5.5 by 1.25. So 1.25. Pop this one in, get that on the bottom of that. Yeah, I think I quite like that. Let's just get this one glued down a minute and we'll see what that looks like. Yeah, that's better, because now the buildings look like they're actually sat on something rather than being floating in the sky. So we've got happy birthday, we've got our motorhome, got our table and chairs. How quick and easy is that? That folds down nice and flat. When that's folded down, that measures 4 by 5 1/4, so that go into a nice envelope, and that's also small enough to post. Now I would write my message on the back of this card. But yeah, I'm really quite pleased with that. Can't really see that. So if I hold that, that's what it looks like when it's stood up. I will take a photograph and put it at the end of the video so that you can see what it actually looks like. But I think that's absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my little video. Thank you for watching. It was just a card that I had to make, so I thought I'd share it with you. And until the next time, bye for now.